Oh, the dash. Oh, Steve.
Most of my videos are about things in the world, external. Like that jet plane flying over, just on the other side of the clouds, really super slowly. Or chemtrails, or sciencey stuff, or motorcycles, or scratching records, or whatever. And I share a lot of my own, you know, my frustration, and vent a lot of my emotional shit through my channel here. So if it's relatable to people and it helps them to vent too, then that's what it's intended for. I don't really try to, you know, I haven't made any videos talking about, you know, my personal side of my life other than what's obvious through the videos I make, because I made a lot of videos trying to document this Morgellons shit. You know, I wanted a motorcycle channel and then science stuff, but instead I get chemtrails and Morgellons, which is the way he wants it, right? Which that's used a lot, that little phrase there from, I think it's Cool Hand Luke. Well, it's taken out of context when it's used, but that's okay. It's beside the point, I guess. INTP, fine lines and shit. Shit, in the last... Maybe I should just start here. I'm in my car. The battery's dead. I'm staying in the, a friend's RV. Well, it's the guy that I work for, really, who's helped me out tremendously, because I can't seem to count on my family to do that. Not all of my family, and you know, everybody is got their own situations, so sometimes family members aren't in a position to help you, but a lot of times what I found is that they want to believe, at least since having Morgellons, it seems that they would rather believe that you've done something to yourself, or it was a result of your own, something you're doing or you're causing, that is giving you the Morgellons symptoms, the fatigue, and the you know, it's like a seizure. It's like a mild seizure over your whole freaking body and your brain at the same time. And it doesn't completely disable you. It just makes it impossible to function properly, or adhere to any schedules, or keep anything that, you know, any order of things that you need to take care of. It makes it about impossible to... You could do one of them probably, but doing, you know, several things in one day, or keeping track of things for more than you know, a certain period of time becomes impossible. Your family members would rather assume that you're doing it, that you're on drugs, that it's a side effect of something you did before, your diet, or that you're just mental. They would rather believe that than believe that the possibility that there really has been a fungus virus agent released into the population. They won't accept that. And so they'll come up with any of a zillion excuses not to help you when you're most in need, because they don't believe that there's anything wrong with you. It's weird how that works. That's the, you know, and one of the biggest problems with Morgellons is the fucking, is the people who don't have Morgellons. because everybody has Morgellons. It's just that some people's body accepts it, some people's body rejects it. If their body accepts it, you get one set of disorders. If your body rejects it, you get Morgellons. I think I said that in my last video, but I'm repeating it. People who don't have it, you know, you could like, I can at least, I've been everywhere I've been in the last 5 years. If there's other people there, I'm real quiet usually. This is where I do my talking, I guess, and I observe. And an airplane is coming, right? And my mom or her husband, or, you know, it doesn't seem to affect my dad. I don't know how he does it. It's crazy. But other people, I'll see them start to fucking act different as soon as I hear the ringing in my ears or feel the effects of the field energy, radio wave, whatever they're beaming down. As soon as I feel it, I just stop and I'll concentrate on other people, and I'll see the effects of it played out. It's not my imagination. I'm not reading into their behavior what I already want to believe is going on. That's not what's happening. I'm very observant. I mean, I've made a career somehow as a mechanic and a semi-fabricator. Not a semi-fabricator, but semi-like a fabricator. I'm not a full-on fabricator. I do some fabrication. I do some inventing too. But anyway, point being, I observe shit and I see how it works. It's how I work on mechanical things. I've never hardly ever cracked a book on it. I've just, you know, other than studying, I've studied a lot, but I don't really use manuals anymore. I just see how it works by looking at it, and then I see what's wrong with it and fix it, right? Doesn't really apply to electronics, but that's a different subject. Anyway, I observe shit really closely. Whether I want to or not, I don't try to. It just happens. And other people, as soon as these frequencies are hitting us, their behavior changes, or they'll have physical symptoms. Wendy's mom would start sneezing every time the airplane would come flying over in Camas, which was every 15 minutes. Not all the time. If she had any little bit of a cold, she'd sneeze for sure, though. At the same time, the frogs would start croaking in the backyard, extra loud and fast. At the same time, my ears rang, and the plane flew over, and then it's gone. So I've observed it with other people. Pretty much everybody. But other people who don't have Morgellons, they'll, I guess, go to the doctor, and with the first symptom that they have, doctor, I got this irritation, this rash, or I feel this lump under my arms, or freaking whatever the case may be. There's a little white spot by my eye, right? Or they'll have mental symptoms first, is what I'm thinking, and they'll get on psych meds, because they'll think it's they're losing their mind or something, or they'll, you know, believe the hype to watch all the TV commercials. This, that, and the other thing for this, that, and the other thing. It may cause this, that, and the other thing, right? Fuck, whatever. You know, of course, I don't know. Just expect no one to believe you, no one to help you, and then still, go to Bible study though, and make sure and take the dogs to the pedicurist, and but I don't know. Like my current situation is, my mom's house, they have an RV set up in the yard. It's hookups and it's all hooked up too, and it's just got cleaned out and leveled. And I'm like, well, it's the middle of winter. I just was accused of rape, which I didn't do, and then had to spend 4 months in jail fighting the charge, and then I beat it and I got out, and it's wintertime now, and I kind of need some place to stay because I've actually had Morgellons and been homeless for the last 3 years before that happened, so Ray, right? So, you know, living in a variety of places, which is in my other videos. Check them out. And, but just not an option for some reason. So that's why I'm here at Matt's, who graciously, you know, lets me stay here, but there's no power to be had unless I go try and talk the neighbors into running me some power, but right now there's none. Phew. And I'm like, you know, family help me out here. But, you know, my mom's too nervous and stressed out about trying to keep her own situation stable. She doesn't want to upset Bob. But Bob and her were getting divorced for the past 16 months up until about 4 months ago. 3 months ago. Which was like, you know, right before I got out of jail here. So, anyway, and she was just becoming independent somewhat, and she's just kind of falling back into the same little thing, going along with, it's not even what he wants, it's what she thinks he wants. Because when I talk to Bob, I don't really get that you know, big of a vibe from him, and you know, as long as we don't talk politics. And I don't know. I don't really. I've offered to, you know, pay rent, and I get food stamps to contribute to the food as well, right? I could probably manage to come up with $200 or $300 a month, which is, you know, not a lot, but the most I could commit myself to coming up with through working because of the Morgellons and the airplanes. You know, the problem with Morgellons, it never stops. It doesn't take a break. There's no place you can't go crawl underneath the blankets and go to sleep and it stops. It doesn't stop. You can't go crawl under lead blankets and have it stop. It doesn't stop. I've gotten under cast iron bathtub. It doesn't stop. The waves go right through it like it's not there. They're super high frequency and electrically, in the propagation of waves through space, which would be through the air, to us, high frequency can travel through things that are very dense. It doesn't propagate as well at distance, and so that's why the 5G, being high frequency, needs the panels everywhere and the cell towers everywhere. They're going to have them everywhere, every 200 feet. You're never ever not going to be within a couple 100 feet of one of their signals or one of their towers or their panels. That's the future. You can be immersed in this shit all the time, and it's going to be interacting with the particles you're breathing in, and most likely with the structure of the fungus that grows through your body, because as it grows through your body, it overlaps your nerves and your veins and any energy paths on your body, and you're just the shape of your skin and the fluid right under your skin. It fills you. You have a signature, an electrical signature at that point of your body made out of that structure. And it's like a radar, you know. So you know how a radar works, and it shows, you know, you can see the shape of the outline of whatever it's sweeping across sometimes in certain types of radar. It's very similar to that, right? Except with computers. You are now a target on a radar grid. It sweeps across with all of these varying frequencies and bandwidths, like the airplanes are using flying over, like that are at all the intersections, that are mounted on all of the cell towers, that are put everywhere, that are in your phones, that are everywhere. And they interact with the crap in your body. And that is Morgellons. Morgellons is your body's immune response to that. And a lot of it's mental. It fucks up your brain. This fungus is growing everywhere. And I guess they've just got a large segment of the population on some kind of pharmaceutical or the other to control it and help them accept the fungus or whatever. And some people reject it. And a lot of people just hide. And there's a lot of people dying. Far more people than we realize are dying all over your town right now. Right down the street from you. People living in the bushes, under the bridges, by the railroad tracks, down at the rivers. Fucking, they're dying left and right. From the Morgellons, from the fungus. If you're not in a situation where you have bathing facilities and you can scrub it out of you on a daily basis, sometimes an all daily basis, it overtakes you and you look like a stark raving lunatic, like lurching down the street like you've seen. You know, we used to have homeless people around here, but they just look like normal people that fucking, you know, were living outside because they fucking got kicked out or something or whatever. They weren't, you know, mental necessarily, and they weren't disabled necessarily in any way. Some of them just lived in the freaking woods because they felt like it around here. This used to be a nice place. But not anymore. You know, the animals of all native species have all been replaced by invasive bugs, basically. I could go on for hours about the birds, or the slugs, or the snails, the grasshoppers. Or the grasshoppers. Gee, the grasshoppers are gone. And all the little tiny singing birds are gone from around here. That's crows and pigeons, though. Pigeons aren't, you know, supposed to be around here. There's never been a pigeon around here until about 7 or 8 years ago. Suddenly there's pigeons everywhere, crows everywhere. Another story. But it's all related. It's all related to what the chemtrails and the microwaves are doing. They're destroying the ecosystem. What's that sound? Whoa, it's Commando Solo. My hero. This shit starts to fucking fuzz out of my face, right? And I'm stranded out here. You know, I've been able to work and make a little money, but not enough to escape to where. The only place I have to really try and get to right now is my dad's property in Ellensburg. And it's snowed in right now up there, so even if I manage to wrap up all of my, you know, loose ends here and tell my family, my children goodbye, you know, and my mom and Bob, and like, hey, okay, I'm going up, you know, I have to go up there and contend with off the grid in the snow, which is preferable. The only problem is that airplane flies over there too. The only bright spot in the end of that tunnel is that there's not as many airplanes there. And the wind blows a lot because of its position, you know, next to Mount Rainier, and just however, that's where the wind blows. It blows across there. Which in one way is good. It clears out the chemtrails. Another way is bad. It brings in other chemtrails because they chemtrail everywhere. But there are less microwave planes. There's less Commando Solos. Commando Solo as a military term, it's an ordnance, and I was told by a guy on a video I was watching that actually it wasn't even on video. It was a radio show, I can't remember the guy's name. It might have been Jordan Maxwell, but I'm not sure. But he said that there was the first ordinance, if you look on any of our military operations, it'll say Commando Solo. And he referred to it as that one plane. He said you see it banking over the town. And I noticed that a long time ago. There was a plane that would just kind of bank in big, long, lazy, looping circles over town. And this was back in the early 90s. I noticed this plane. And it was, a small plane. And, so everybody thought, oh, it's the dope sniffing plane. It's looking for people cooking meth. It's looking for people growing pot. Heat signatures and things like that. But that was nothing compared to the planes nowadays. They're continuous and everywhere, and if I point them out to people, they say, oh, it's just the flight path. There's a big international airport in Portland, Yeah, of course I know there's an international airport there. There's also, a jetliner that flies over within a quarter mile, which isn't a far, jog left or right of any position in town, really. Within a quarter mile of you, every few minutes, no more than 15 minutes, and then a plethora of small planes that zigzag and loop-de-loop. All day and all night, every day and every night, especially when it rains, and they do it on holidays and weekends too. Try and tell a normie, try and tell someone who watches the TV news and votes that the government that they're supporting and their taxes are supposedly paying for, which is another story. Taxes don't pay for shit, because if all of our tax money combined, if everybody paid it, wouldn't even put a fucking dent in the amount of money spent to run the government for one fucking year. That's not called paying for anything. That's called pretending to pay for something. And so we spend into deficit all the time. So tell me again how their tax money paid for anything, right? Because it's not even enough to pay the interest on the debt for the loan that takes to run it. So that's not paying for anything. Let's be straight, right? The economy's fake. They can print as much money as they want and do as much as they want, and it doesn't matter. As long as the grocery store is open and the people are going to their jobs. That's all that really matters. And it doesn't have to have a lot of people having those jobs. That's why everybody has a food stamp card. Damn near everybody does. Which, economically is unsustainable, but then again, so is the rate of the SSD and SSI money that they pay out and the prescriptions that they pay for. This all ties into the pharmaceutical industries and the banking industry, which are tied together. Just like, and they've got us all fucking tied up, believing their fucking TV show hype and their commercials are fucking subliminally programming our children from the time they're little. What's this Cubo channel showing these weird ass fucking cartoons to children nowadays? Fuck. Our cartoons were bad enough. Fucking Scooby-Doo and Roadrunner and shit. That would be like a dream compared to the bullshit that's put on for kids to watch nowadays. And I see their parents just give them their big old Samsung Galaxy phone and turn it on some of this weird fucking new cartoon shit. Their kid just sits there and stares at it for hours. That's how their kids are being raised now. There's a plane coming over. I feel it. I'm getting all fucking worked up, and what I'm talking about does piss me off. But right there. I can fucking feel it, and it emotionally is like pisses me off. Of course, the plethora of activity, right? The neighbors are driving off. It's right there on the other side of that cloud. The last one came from that direction and went this way. Keep going. This is what I've been doing. I'm running out of time, so 4 seconds. Okay, bye everybody.